Hi everyone, this is Killshop99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead, Season 9, Episode 8, Tragedy Strikes Again. Welcome to a long Sunday of streams. This is The Walking Dead Day. We're going to do this stream. We got 3 o'clock coming up for some of our other viewers. We got the countdown at 8. We got reactions at 10:20, and we got extended reactions after The Talking Dead at 11:20 as well. So it's going to be a crazy day. We've done this a couple times. We've done 5 streams before. And it's draining when you get down to the very end, but I think the fright, the fear, the anticipation, all of that is going to keep everybody just super motivated. Just been having some conversations back and forth about some of the character development. Appreciate all of you guys being here on a Sunday morning. Thank you so much. What an awesome group of Walking Dead fans. Got some early people here as well, so hopefully you guys don't get stuck in the corner. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I did want to come back and talk about the Rosita follow-up because I was a little harsh on her last week, so I want to kind of redeem myself and redeem the character. Before we get started, I want to give a super shout-out to Valar, Hello 99 Army, Kill, Steph, Emmy, Kel, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, patrons, of course, all the super chats. So many awesome people out there. Do want to say we're getting a lot of conversation around what else would you guys like to see streamed? And we've got Stranger Things, we've got Game of Thrones. A lot of people, they just want to talk about everything. We can probably do some consolidation and just do some overall shows and movies. That is something we're going to work on. But keep in mind, we are not going to stop with The Walking Dead. So after tonight's mid-season finale, we're going to be talking Walking Dead all next week, the next couple weeks. We will take a day or two off around the holidays as normal. But these few weeks are going to go by relatively quickly, and because this is a cliffhanger type of event, there's just going to be a lot of theories and a lot of speculation. So, but we will do some other stuff as well. Maybe random things, Stranger Things, other TV shows. So let me thank you guys. Some awesome comments up here. I can't catch everybody, but we are the Walking Dead Army. Thank you so much. That is society. We are a big part of it, and some really hardcore fans here. Love the Sunday streams. Thank you. And normal time for us in Europe. Well, so you guys know, what we're trying to do is get some of those early streams. So Saturday morning and the Sunday morning stream is directed at our European audience. So I know it's, you guys are awesome. You stay up late for some of the streams, but I kind of wanted to do some that is, kind of gets everybody involved. So last week I did a love-hate, and it was Magna and Rosita, and I put Rosita on the hate side. Not that I hate Rosita, but it was as far as the current story arc, and Rosita kind of running, getting injured, hearing the voices. So I'm going to back up a little bit and say this scene with Rosita looks a little bit more Rosita-like, where she wants to go out, she wants to help. The problem is, I don't know that she's going to be able to. I don't know that she's going to be able to get out there and without being restrained by Michonne and Sadiq. So her heart is there, but the sadness is that, and this is the tragic part of today's video, and I will extend it to what we think potentially could be happening, is Rosita's a warrior, and this is very much like 7-1. The one thing about 7-1 was the strong characters, and Abraham probably being the strongest, was the first one taken down. Now, we know that was by Negan, and the Whisperers maybe don't know, who's strong, who's not strong, but the writers are going down a similar path. And as we know, warning, there are some spoilers. If you don't know there's going to be a major death, then turn away right now. I do want to warn you. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So with Jesus being one of the strongest hand-to-hand combat, and he's actually training Aaron, right? With Jesus dying, then the writers have, in essence, taken one of the strongest threats that are out there. Now, you still got Negan, you still got Daryl, you still got Carol, but I would put Rosita up there. So I'm going to ask you, as far as ranking the badasses on the show, I don't know any other way to say it, what would you give Rosita from a 1 to a 10? And I'm going to jump over to Angie Kinley, who says, just want to say how excited I am to be a part of this family. I am super pumped for this episode and the rest of the season. Angie, I am right there with you. One, thank you for being a part of this family. We love having you here. And number two, we're really looking forward to the Whisper arc, but we got to go through some darkness before we get to the light. And I think we're going to get a lot of dark episodes in a row. It's going to end on a dark note, and it's going to start out on a dark note, and it's going to take us all season to really get back. So you guys see where I'm kind of going with this. Some people are 7s, some people are 8s, but I do see some 9s, some 10s. Rosita is highly thought of. She's somebody that she mows people down. She takes care of people. She stands her ground. But watching her run around, watching her try to get out, watching her not be able to help Eugene, and then hearing the voices where she's a little bit hysterical, and now it kind of clicks in like, I got to go do something, and she's helpless. So to me, that is tragic. It's tragic that a warrior cannot be a warrior, that she's either got a concussion, she's just in no shape to go out there, they may not let her. I got a feeling she's probably going to try to get out there. I just don't know that she can make it. And if she does, she's not going out there 100%. So that's where I think the tragedy is going to start to ramp up a little bit. We've seen this walker whisperer. I got to think this is a whisperer. You see a little bit of the eye. Do you think that could be Alpha? I don't know yet. It's kind of messed up. It could be blended in. Maybe we get a little bit of our sneak peek. But let me know what you guys think. This whisper / walker that sort of turns around. Somebody important in the whole scheme of things? Where's Gamma? I need Gamma to answer this question. Some people have linked this picture and said they definitely think that it could be. Looks like Dwight. I got to think it's Alpha or Lydia. So, they did in the grab bag for Skybound, they did say, if you haven't seen Lydia already. So, some people Alpha, some people Lydia. Hair kind of matches. I think it's of importance. Now, the reason I use these two pictures as well is because, is anything going to hold Rosita back? So, we get back into character. At first, she wants to go out there. No, just calm down. And then she's probably going to play along with it. But ultimately, I got to think Rosita goes out there. And if she does, and if they hold true to weakening the Warriors, then I would think, as many of you said, Rosita's an 8, Rosita's a 9 as far as strength of character. She could be one of the ones that's literally on the chopping block. I think she could be a trespasser. Jesus has already been told, you're where you don't belong. So certainly, if Rosita sneaks out there, but she's going to have to have the cap, she's going to have the shorts, she's going to have to go out there in typical Rosita fashion. But the more I think about it, I'm thinking it's going to be tragic. Now, let's go forward to talk a little bit about the capturing. So we know that in this week's episode that Jesus has his fight, and after that, it looks like the walkers are walking away, and then all of a sudden they turn around and the group is going to be surrounded. But here's my question. How do, for those of you in the comics, maybe you can help me out a little bit. And maybe it'll kind of figure itself out. But you've got walkers and whisperers mixed in. When they capture, and I guess there's no guarantee, how do you make sure that the walkers don't just, let's say it's half whispers, 100 people, let's say 50 whispers, 50 walkers. There's still 50 walkers that would want to eat somebody from Alexandria, right? I want to see how they're going to keep the walkers kind of at bay. I understand that they don't want to eat the whispers, but still, you're going to be like, hey, there's Daryl. And I would think about 50 of them would just kind of zoom in and just want to go eat Daryl before any of the whispers can stop them, right? I just want to see how they're going to play that out. It's just been weighing on my mind a little bit. I'm going to hold tight because I want to see a couple of the comments to this one. I mean, maybe the whisper to walker ratio is not what I think it is. Maybe there's a few walkers and more whispers, and they just sort of keep them. I don't know. I mean, I just think they're going to kind of snack. We got Pete D with the Grinch coming in for a super chat. Can't stay, unfortunately, but wanted to show some support. Thank you, Pete. Hopefully, Pete, you'll be around in the afternoon. We are going to do a ton of streams today. So noon, 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10:20, and 11:20. So if you're available sometime during the show, jump in and hang out with us a little bit. But thank you so much. Appreciate the support and everything that you've done all season long and continue to do for the channel. Okay, Fluff, I see where you're going with that. All right, but Eugene, for instance, you still got Aaron. And look, I'm not trying to, come up with too many plot holes, but I do wonder about the Walker-Whisperer ratio. And, it might have something to do with the milling. And, I mean, I don't know. What's a way to sort of control the walkers? I mean, they start to leave and then they turn around and come back. They're walking around in circles. They're sort of out there. Yeah. I'm going to have to do a deeper dive into that. American Pride, I'm not sure. Julie J, I mean, that's the question. I'm not sure the Whispers are controlling the walkers or if they have some sort of diversion device. I mean, I know that they can walk among them and they're not attacking them. But, what I'm thinking is you're walking around with a bunch of hungry walkers regardless, and you see one person. How do you capture that person without the 50 or 60 walkers you're with just wanting to kind of go through you to get to, there's some fresh meat up there. So if they do get captured tonight or they get surrounded or something happens, I just want to see how the walkers, this herd of walkers reacts because, potentially you could have, well, depending on who all goes out there, if Michonne goes out there, if Sadiq is out, I mean, we got rumors of who is going to be out there trying to help. Drama King says, kills. I think the whisper in the photo is Alpha, and she will be the one who stabs Jesus and says, you don't belong here. So, Drama King is very possible. The only thing I would say is there was a picture of someone else that was very close to Aaron when, Aaron put up his bionic arm and the walker bit him. There was another one sort of to the right of them that had a little different hair and was sort of, kind of circling around waiting for the opportunity. And you might be right. So Drama says Alpha will kill. Paul Quinn says Beta will kill Jesus. And there's a whole lot of other people. And Spoiling Dead's fan page, I think, was actually predicting it would be a whisper, but they didn't say it would be a major whisper. So I'm going to ask. Let's make this a super chat spotlight. Everybody in the stream and all of you watching at home for the playback. Who, and do not say pilot, I already know the direction. I know it'll get religious. Who kills Jesus? Is it going to be Alpha? Is it going to be Beta? Or is it going to be a random whisper? You can put RW if you want. Alpha, Beta, or RW. Let's see real quick survey here. Now, we're definitely not going to see a face, of exactly who it is. Interesting. I don't have a... if I had to guess, I would say random. I do like the fact, I guess there's part of me that would hope it would be one of the leaders, because it does make the group, in a weird sort of way, look weaker. If perhaps the strongest hand-to-hand fighter in our group is taken out by some random whisper because it's a sneak attack, that hurts. I mean, if it's Beta, then at least I'll take some solace in knowing, like, look, okay, yeah, it was a good fight. Jesus kicked a few walkers, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a bigger, battered Leroy Brown came into town and took him down. That's too many rhymes. Sorry. I was just going to do an analogy, but just turned into a whole rhyme fest. But anyway, you get where I'm going with that. But now it looks like, Jesus is going to kick a few of them, and he's probably going to go to high five, Aaron, like, we did it, we got him, yeah, and then stabbed in the back by some random dude that he thought was a walker that was already taken out. That's bad. And it does, look, some people are going to get their badges and they're going to get their weapons really quick. Can you fight? You graduated. We need you because we lost Jesus. We may lose, if we lose Rosita, she's out there looking for people and she trespasses. And it is set up kind of nicely if you think about it, right? Let's say, these people at Hilltop get word that there's trouble on the horizon. And Michonne, Carol, Rosita. Well, let me backtrack. Let's say Michonne, Carol, a couple other get captured. There's your Ezekiel plot line right there. I know a lot of people don't want to say, look, Ezekiel and Rosita, they became head on a pike in the comics, and maybe they don't go that same direction, but it certainly has the feel of a story for that, because if Eugene is captured and Rosita has a reason to go find Eugene, and you can see she does because she's panicking. He's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. I got to go get him. That's like her only, she's got to get out there. That does not look good. If she crosses over that line, I think she's gone. If Carol or Henry are in trouble, Ezekiel crosses that line, he's in trouble. So I really think this is going to be, well, I mean, we know it's going to be the tip of the iceberg, but it's going to get dark fast. And I don't think it's going to, end in a dark cliffhanger. I think it's going to start with 2 or 3 episodes. I think when you get to 9, 10, that it's going to be more evident. And that's one of the things that we'll be able to get together and do over the next couple of weeks is dig down into, scenes from the second half of The Walking Dead. We're going to see some of that tonight. So when you see a couple of those images, oh boy, we're really going to have some stuff to work with. And we will time the stream so everybody can get a chance to do that. So we'll do the reaction. And then after we do the reaction, we'll check out a little bit of Talking Dead, and we do want to see scenes, sneak peek from the second half. You know, I'm going to save a little bit of this conversation for later on in the afternoon. But I'm not real happy with Maggie right now. I'm not going to do what I've done in the past and blame Daryl for everything. I'm not going to blame Maggie like that. But I do want to think about the potential resources that Maggie may have. And the fact that one of the things that Maggie said to Jesus and Daryl is, next time we'll be ready. Let's not forget that. Are they ready? Jimmy's jamming. Kills. Do we know for sure our guys won't draw first blood? Well, Jimmy, I think that's an interesting point. And in one of the streams, maybe a month ago, I discussed our guys would not draw first blood. And here's why. Because I think they don't want any sympathy for the Whisperers. So the fact that the Whisperers were already chasing Eugene and Rosita, I see that as first blood. Maybe you could say they were trespassing the tower. The Whisperers feel like maybe that's their area or they control that zone. But they weren't saying like, hey, young lady and dude that's limping, stop. We just want to talk. We just want to hang out. They were hunting them. So by association or whatever the case may be, I don't think it matters whether Jesus kills one of them tonight. I think the fear has already been planted. They're already hunting. They're already stalking. And I think there's some people already dead, to be honest with you. Scott Kernan, hey, Kills, my main question is, could we see another death in episode 9? Scott, I do. I don't think it'll be a major character, but I do think there could be another death. And I got a follow-up to that because I'm going to tell you something I think happened. Kills, thank you for not blaming Daryl this time. Yeah, I do sometimes. All right, I'm going to freak you out a little bit because there is a question that I've been asked quite a bit, and it's about Oceanside. I think Cindy's on a pike. I mentioned this a while back, that it may look like Jimmy's jamming, as you said. It may look like our group gets first blood, or that the Whisperers can be negotiated with, but clearly they're attacked and they stab Jesus in the back, and you're where you don't belong. But I also thought that we will see that they've already killed. So I think some of the Oceanside are probably already markers. I don't know what stream it was, but I just want to kind of take you guys back a little bit. One, I don't think there's any sympathy for the Whisperers, but I think the writers are going to try to make it look as if they can be negotiated with, but then we're going to find out, like, wait a minute, you guys have been killing all along. That's kind of the way I want to articulate it. And we will find out that there are some different people that have already been taken care of. And we may actually see some masks that look like maybe a Beatrice mask or maybe a Cindy mask or something along those lines. Or a Sherry. Be a long time. But that would be, look, I know it's gruesome and I know it's, I don't even want to think about it. But we might have to do some hidden clues where we're like, wait a minute. Did you see that whisperer that was, behind the fourth row? Man, that looks like Sherry. Or, that looks like Dwight. I think we might see some of that to where we're trying to figure out if it's somebody we recognize. You got bodysuits, you've got masks, you've got heads on pikes, you've got brutality in public, you've got teaching them lessons. This is like Negan all over again on steroids. This is going to be rough. And a lot of people, oh man, Eric's face. Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine Aaron's reaction? Oh man, there's so much they could do with this. And Kimberly G., you're absolutely right. And Scott Kernan super chatting says, our group is going to have to kill them all. So, the Maggie storyline could end up being a big benefit whenever they get time to write her a letter and she finds out what's going on. The Negan story, no doubt about it. Magna popped in just in a nick of time. Hey, look, people might not have wanted some new travelers that Judy found, but look, we're going to need every person that can aim a weapon to be front and center. Like the termites from Scott, it is going to be, they have to make it more brutal, more vicious than anything we've ever seen. And I agree with you. I think Negan or Daryl at some point will take down Alpha, Beta, or maybe they don't right away. Maybe they drag this out and brutalize us a little bit. I don't know this is going to be a quick story. So a couple more super chats. We got Ecom says, since Kang is writing season 10 with Maggie in mind, will she show up with some firepower to help the Whisperers when you think Maggie returns? Well, I would say all of you don't watch Whiskey Cavalier, and Maggie will probably be back sooner than later. Did I just say that out loud? Yeah. All right. Nightmare Files. I love the eerie atmosphere and horror theme. I do too. I think it is dark. It is going to be treacherous. Nightmare. It's going to be fun in some sense. It's going to be nerve-wracking. And I'm looking forward to the reaction video tonight. But Ecom, let me say this. I do think Maggie returns at some point next season, even if it's on a temporary contract. I think that'll be part of the story. Who we got? We got American Pride says, the more horrifying the Whisperers are, the greater redemption arc for Negan. Absolutely. I have been really kind of beating that drum for a long time that I'm just looking for any additional redemption. And at this point, I think it's all overkill. So, the Judy arc, I mean, I've kind of got this visual, and it was always sort of personal to me because I hated Negan. I hated Negan probably more than anybody. And I was one of the first people to say, I will not forgive him. It just can't be done. And then as I started analyzing it, I started saying, okay, what things give people redemption or acceptance? So, one, him confessing to Father G. Number two, his feeling for Carl. Number three, him being locked up and Maggie giving him a pass, Rick giving him a pass. 4, his bond with Judith shows change. And then the biggest one I've always said is need. Something, they have to paint a villain more evil than Negan for us to not worry about Negan as much. And I think they've done all of those things, which was kind of weird. If there's ever been a prediction or a theory that we've talked about that is probably the most accurate ever, it's probably the Negan theory, if you think about it. Because we broke that down to a degree and said, these are all the things that need to happen if he's ever going to become a hero. And you know what? Almost all of them have happened. And I will say almost everybody is on board. And even people that are really, really, the kind of last people to jump in. Look, I'll give you guys an example in a second. Derek Dixon was really depressed last night. Stream helps. Derek, anytime you come in, hopefully, I love to hear that stuff, so, I won't pry, but glad to have you here, and always being a part of our group is hopefully a second family. So thank you for that, and, glad we can, kind of give a little bit of positive emotion, positive vibe. Scott Kernan, it's an uphill battle with the Whisperers. It is. But, Scott, you know what? You're going to know people are Negan fans if they start cheering for Negan against the Whispers, to kill one of the Whispers. Steve Smitherman, lunch is on me. Looking forward to tonight's stream after 9:08. Hit that like button, 999 Army. That's my kind of super chat right there. It's like one that says hit the like button. So thank you so much. You guys pike that like button. Absolutely loving the interaction with everybody. So hold on a second, because we've got one more example that I have to give. And I call it the Steph Cuervo Queen example. Because Steph has been, probably more so than me, we both had, I think, equal hatred for Negan. But I kind of see that we're going to need him, right? Steph has been a little tougher. So I got to throw this out there to Steph. Steph, if Daryl is captured and Alpha is just getting ready to decapitate Daryl and make him into the latest mile marker, and the only person who can save him is Negan, but in order to do that, you got to give him full clemency. You have to say, you know what? You got a clean slate, Mr. Negan. Everything is wiped clean. You're brand new. You're like Catwoman when Batman was going to give her a clean slate. And the only way that Daryl can survive it is if you give him that pass. That's it. There's no door C. You got door A and door B. Do you A, have Daryl become mile marker 85, or do you say, okay, here you go, you're part of the team now? I got to know the answer to that question. Because I think it is a very... Oh, all right, so there you go. She says, I would let my Daryl die. Okay, Daryl becomes mile marker 85. You guys know that there are fans out there that are going to hold on really, really tight. I'm over it. Welcome to the team, Negan. Go out there, kill some Whisperers, in my mind. American Pride says, seems Daryl somewhat understood why Negan was so nasty. His crew had some bad seeds. I think Daryl will move on from Negan. So let me throw this question out to the group. One last question before we wind this thing down. Maggie moved on from the Negan deal. Michonne moved on. Rick moved on. Daryl, probably not interaction. Do you think we will see Daryl and Negan fighting side by side? Let's see what the 999 Army thinks right here, right now. Scott Kernan says Daryl would do it for Rick and Carl. I think they will, one. And number two, not only are people a resource, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a resource, and he will start to become along with Norman Reedus and Melissa, maybe deny. I'm not sure if she'll go in a different direction with movies. But I do think that there will be a new acceptance of Negan. Jimmy's Jammin' says, but Steph, hate is wrong. And on that, what a positive thing to say at the end. I want to thank everybody for being here. We are going to wind this thing down. June Smith says, what about Negan will make him save the day? June, a lot of different possibilities. One, some of the most awesome people on the show are going to be taken prisoner. So if Michonne is taken prisoner, you know what? I'm going to take it a step further because, honestly, I really don't care about Daryl that much. And it'll kind of answer June's question as well. I'm going to say Michonne is one of the ones that gets taken, and Judith turns to Negan to help save her mom. And I think that is a more powerful story. And you're right, Steph, I would let Daryl die too. However, I would not let Michonne die. And we've already seen Judith can make an audience melt. So if Judy is desperate and the only person she thinks can get the job done is Negan to go help Michonne, done deal. Done. Clean slate. Thank you. Go out there and do what other people can't do because, you know, the baddest people in town may be preoccupied, and that may be where they turn. So I got a couple more super chats. However, I do believe there is an end for Negan. I think we're a long ways away, Scott. But, yeah, I agree. Maybe 11 or 12. But I do think he'll go full circle and get completely redeemed before that happens. And, Steph, we had a nice kind of tranquil ending to the stream. And Steph comes back with Jimmy and says, hate and trust are two different things. I agree with you. But the only way to earn trust is to be given a second chance. You can't earn it unless you're given the opportunity. And the writers know that, and they appreciate that. And that's why Negan will get another opportunity, because he's going to have to earn the trust of the people that are there and the people that are watching the show. And then comes acceptance. It's the trilogy. All right, everybody, on that note, we are going to wind this thing down. Thank you. Appreciate everybody being here. This is The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 8. We got some future tragedy. Come back at 3 o'clock. We'll have a brand new topic to talk about, and we're going to be streaming 4 more times today. So make sure everybody hits the like button. You guys enjoy your Sunday afternoon, and I will see most of you here at 3 p.m. Thanks once again to everybody, the patrons, the sponsors, the moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kels, all the super chatters are here today. And, of course, the 999 Army. You guys are absolutely amazing. I will talk to you all at 3 o'clock. Peace.